I adore Dublin Bay prawns, and they're absolutely gorgeous. They're sweet and beautiful. So this is what they look like whole. You can get them if you're a fishmonger. He'll peel them. This is the tail of them. I'm going to show you 2 recipes. One with a lovely pasta with some prawns, spinach, that kind of thing. And then we're going to show you what to do if you do get them, that you can use up the actual heads. So I'll just show you how to prep them first of all. You literally twist this here. Okay. So that's where the real meat is. And you squeeze it with this part of your hand. And you literally just peel that. And then just push that through. And that should just come out. And then you remove that little vein there. So that's juicy, delicious. This is what I've done with these here. And with the heads, what I've done is started to roast them. I'll just throw that in there. So there's quite a bit of work and preparation to them, but they're worth it. And if you can get the best yield, when I used to work in a restaurant in Belfast, in a 1 Michelin star restaurant, I used to have to peel the prawns. So there's a lot of work in them. And when you were peeling hundreds of them, there's an awful lot of work. So the key into this, making the soup. So this is going to be like a lovely kind of a coconut soup. So I've been cooking that for the last 10 minutes just with some rapeseed oil. That's it. Going to turn up the heat. We're going to put in a little bit of diced shallot. You can use regular onion. Shallot slightly sweeter. Couple of cloves of garlic. So you're getting lots of lovely flavour into the actual soup. Now the key is, I can't emphasize, you can roast these off in the oven, but I like to do it actually in the saucepan. I think it just gives so much better flavour. That's just a personal thing. Now we're going to put tomato puree, and we're going to use this lovely product. I've used it in quite a few of my recipes, Thai red curry paste. They're an Irish company, they're based in Wexford, and their stuff is super. So you're going to get that lovely kind of lemongrass, that ginger called galanga, all those lovely flavours. So I'm going to put in 2 heaped spoonfuls. So that's the paste there. You can see a little bit of texture, and it's delicious, and it's not too hot. It's not going to be too spicy. That's not what I want from this soup. Going to put in tomato puree. This is going to help with the colour and the flavour. So 2 spoonfuls of that, and obviously it's the larger spoonfuls I'm using for this. And then we just literally stir this all together. So you're just getting the flavour for the soup from the actual heads. You will not be eating it, trust me. Now we're going to put in some beautiful coconut milk, and this is from Thai Gold. It's definitely the most delicious coconut milk for me. I love it, so I do. And it has so much creaminess, delicious flavour. That's it there. It's organic, it's beautiful. So I'm going to put the full can of coconut milk in there. Okay. So we just look at this. I'm going to stir this through. We're going to put in some vegetable stock. Roughly about 1 pint. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put the lid here, just use that for there. We're just going to stir this through here. So you can see you're just kind of like mixing through all that lovely kind of like curry paste and the tomato puree. So it's very, very simple. No flour, nothing like that. We're going to season it with this here, which is lovely nam pla, which is a sauce that they use in Thai cooking. So I'm going to put in 2 spoonfuls of that. I have my pasta on here. I'm going to explain that in a moment. So it's a very, very quick recipe again. So we're going to put in 2 spoonfuls of this. So these langoustines, they're just the king of seafood, so they are. So they're the Dublin Bay prawns, and the French call them the langoustines, but they're called the Dublin Bay prawns. So if you look at them again, you have this tail here, you have the little claws, and you can get small ones, big ones. You know, they're caught in Irish waters. They're just beautiful and sweet, full of flavour, and they're one of my favourite ingredients. If you get them peeled, you can usually get them frozen, and you can just defrost them and just do either of these recipes. But if you're lucky enough to get them whole, use the heads. That's why I wanted to show you kind of 2 recipes that you can utilise this beautiful, beautiful product. That's them there peeled. So that's the tail meat. And then when they get bigger, then, you know, the claws, if they're big enough, you can actually eat the meat from them, which is full of flavour. For the soup, I'm just going to get ready now, just while that's going to come to the boil. I'm just going to prepare some mushrooms. So these are some lovely Irish growing chestnut mushrooms. And then we have some pak choy. So that's going to be there. We're going to use this. So this is the lovely leafy green. I'll just show it to you. Great in stir fries. It really is a lovely, lovely oriental green, it's classed as. And what you do is you use the root and, of course, the stalk and then that lovely leaf. And we'll just keep that nice and whole. It looks so beautiful. Great in stir fries. With these prawns, they're very versatile, so you can stir fry them. You can do lots of different recipes with them. So that just needs to come to the boil. We'll finish that with a little bit of lime juice, and then what I'm going to do is cook these all off with the prawns. So you're going to get that lovely kind of creamy, kind of frothy soup, and you're going to get that beautifully cooked prawns with the mushrooms and the pak choi. So I'll just put a little bit of oil in here. Now, I'm going to talk to you about my pasta recipe. So if we look at the pasta here that I've on cooking, it's not far from being done. So this is the fusilli pasta, and it's the bronze dye, so that's it there. So it has a lovely little bit of texture in it, so that's going to catch this lovely sauce. That's going to be perfect for the prawns. Now you can use spaghetti, you can use lots of different ingredients for this pasta. It works really, really well. Into the sauce, we're going to put some mascarpone cheese. We're going to put a little bit of fresh basil pesto. It's a beautiful product, and then some spinach, and we're going to wilt that, but we're going to cook this all with some of the prawns. So it's going to be a really, really quick one-pan dish. Now what we want to be really particular about is cooking the pasta that it's al dente. So if I just show you what I mean, so that it's firm to the bite, but that it's cooked and it's not in any way kind of like raw. So now it's not too far from being cooked. So just let that just bubble away there. Salt in the water, that's all you need. And then what we'll do is just in a few minutes, I'll give it another few minutes, we're going to strain it, and we're going to add in our mascarpone cheese, add in our lovely spinach and our pesto, so it's super quick. And then the prawns, the beautiful thing about these prawns, they literally take minutes to cook. They don't take long to cook at all. So they're a beautiful sweet prawn, nice soft texture, and for me, they're just the king of prawns. So I'll just, while I'm waiting, I'm just going to start just the process of literally cooking my mushrooms and the pak choi in the pan, which have some rapeseed oil. Okay, so we'll just give this a little, I don't want to put that lovely leaf in yet. I just want to give it just a couple of minutes just to cook this. Now a little bit of salt on this and a little bit of black pepper, and this can be a lovely recipe on its own if you want it with the mushrooms, the pak choi, and then some of these beautiful prawns. So remember, this is the tail of the prawn, the Dublin Bay prawn, which is peeled, and you can get them caught in Irish waters. And for me, when you see how hard the fishermen work, you know, catching these amazing prawns, they're just beautiful. So just literally, now these are raw, remember that? These are going to go in here, and this is going to be the base. I'm going to divide this in half here, and this is going to be the base for my soup. So I just want to cook this really, really quickly. Another little bit more oil. My pasta is very nearly ready, so you don't want to overcook that. So I can just literally strain that now. Bring over your pot of water and literally just strain it just through. I'm just using my colander, and I can just let that sit there for a minute. Now, I've kept back a little bit of the water, if you can see that, and I'm going to use some veg stock. So just let that just come back to the boil. I'll just show you very quickly. Just kind of shake that there, and you can see how quick they're going to cook really, really quickly, so you don't want to overcook them. And of course, when you pour that lovely hot soup on, it'll just give them so much flavour, and it'll cook them fully through. So with the leaves of the pak choi, literally just sprinkle that on there, and that's more or less then done. So they're going to finish cooking. I'm going to switch off the pan, and we'll put that at the bottom of the dish. So what you're doing is you're wilting that pak choi. Back onto our pasta recipe. So I'm going to put in half of the tub of mascarpone cheese. Okay, we are going to put into that our lovely fresh basil pesto, so a spoonful of that goes in there, and then we're going to grate in some lemon, and we're going to put in some lemon juice into this. So just holding your grater over, just grate this in here, just give it a nice grate there, and then also what we're going to do is just put a little bit of lemon juice into this. All we need is a wee squeeze, just to give lovely freshness. So we literally just put the prawns in now in just in a minute. So this is some baby spinach here, which we're just going to literally pop in at the moment, at the last moment, so it just literally wilts. So just if we stir through our mascarpone, and I have some extra veg stock there if I need it, so just literally just soften this a little bit more just to loosen it up. You can use the pasta water. I had some extra veg stock. If we have a little look at our lovely soup, So that's it, just cooking away there. I'm going to strain that very, very shortly. So we're just going to literally put in our prawns next. So to recap, a couple of spoonfuls of mascarpone cheese, some pesto. In goes our lovely prawns. So I'm just literally doing one portion of this. So that mascarpone cheese is lovely and creamy in this. You can use creme fraiche. We're going to put in our lovely baby spinach. And then we're just going to stir this through here. Now, so it's really, really simple and quick. In goes back our pasta, which I haven't refreshed, so it's still warm. So I'm just going to let that just cook out there. Another little bit more veg stock, or you can use the water just to loosen it up. And then you're just going to coat everything. So just using the spatula, just stir this through here. So you have a lovely little bit of colour, flavour. The prawns do not take long. You're just going to literally cook them. And if you're using some dried pasta like I'm using, 10 to 12 minutes, from start to finish, this recipe will be done. No problem at all. Now back onto our soup. So I'm just going to use my little pot stand. Stir that. And then we need to pass this through a sieve. So I'll turn down the pasta for a moment. It smells great. So that's the one great thing about the Dublin Bay prawns. They're very versatile. And then if you make this lovely soup, this will keep in your fridge. It's kind of like a Asian inspired bisque. Usually you'd flambe it, if you were making a bisque, you'd flambe it with a little bit of brandy, white wine, that kind of thing. But I wanted to keep it lovely and fresh and fragrant. So you can see what I'm catching just in the sieve, a bit steamy. So that's any of the shell, anything like that. It's lovely on its own like that, but I want to show you what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to finish with a bit of lime. I love lime, so I do. So just squeeze that in there. And then we're going to hand blend this. So when you hand blend it, you get this lovely kind of foamy texture sensation. It's so delicious. So just watch this here. So just with a stick blender, it's always a little bit noisier. And because I'm using the nice vegetable stock, it's really, really nice and light. And with the coconut milk, it works so well. Okay, we're going to serve up our soup. So we cooked off, if you remember, that lovely pot choy with the Dublin Bay prawns. I'm going to switch my pasta off now. So we're literally just going to spoon this just at the bottom of the dish. So you have your mushrooms there. I remember what I said to you, that those prawns are going to cook through when I spoon on this broth. So if you look closely here, you have that lovely, beautiful soup. It smells so good. It smells so good. Now our pasta. So we just literally bring it over. Just gather it all up, and literally we're going to arrange this. It's always a tricky one to serve. Lovely. Get lots of those lovely prawns. So you can see the way I'm trying to utilize beautiful prawns. We'll wipe the bowl, don't worry about that. They cook so quickly, and you can use peas in this. I think it's a great, like our twins, Conor and Lucia, they love these prawns. Even like if you split them in half, you get big ones, and you can just literally grill them. We're just going to wipe this now. And for me, it's a great showcase of those Dublin Bay prawns. That's my creamy pasta with some spinach. I'll bring it over there. And pesto. And that lovely kind of Thai-infused broth with the coconut milk. This is the prawns here that you can get in the supermarket or your fishmonger. They're already cooked. You just need to peel them and use them and enjoy them. And they're fabulous if you're thinking of a prawn cocktail. But they're a beautiful, beautiful shellfish. One of my favourites. I hope you try one, if not two, of these recipes. And just to show you how versatile and delicious our beautiful Irish Dublin Bay prawns are.